Hello everyone, this is the newest installment in my Python beginner series, and in this video I'm going to talk about variables. Whenever I have to talk about variables, I like to use the box metaphor. So variables in Python or in any other language can be seen as boxes in which stuff can be stored. So you name a box something and then you can store stuff in it to be used later on. If Python sees a variable name in any part of your code, it goes to the box named whatever you named your variable and takes whatever stuff was stored in it and does operations on it. Variables in Python can store anything from the basic data types that we talked about in the previous video to more complex data types like lists and such. Now you may ask, like, why do we even use variables? Why bother putting things into a box if we're going to take them out of the box anyway later on? And the answer to this is pretty simple. It's just that we like to keep things organized in code. Imagine having to type out a 200 character string every time you want to do an operation on it. Instead, you can just store it Instead, you can just store the value in a variable and then you use it however many times you like. The second reason for using variables is that some values tend to change with certain trigger events. For example, your age, it changes after every year. So if I put my age in a variable, I can easily change it whenever I want to without having to remember what age I was before. And not knowing the value of a variable is key, and I will come back to this age example later on. But for now, let's discuss how we assign variables. To assign something to a variable, we use the get sign, which is more commonly referred to as an equal to sign. We use a different terminology in Python because this sign does not quite work the same way as you might have learned in math. So what this sign does is it evaluates what is to the right of it, which is right here, and it puts it into the box named whatever is to the left side of it. And it might do an extra step of creating a variable named whatever was to the left of the sign if it does not already exist. But this is like the basic gist of it. And you can do all kinds of operations on variables if Python allows you to, and I'll show some examples right here. So if I run this code and type in x plus y, is is going to add up the numbers. If I use len of string, it's going to give me 5. I don't think I've ever used the len operation before, and what it basically does is it just prints out the length of whatever string is inside it. So the string inside it was A, B, C, D, E, and it has 5 characters in it, so I just printed out 5. Similarly, I could do x times string. I could do not value. Yeah. So you're pretty free on whatever operations you want to do on it. Of course, you won't be able to do something like y times string because y is a float and not an int. But yeah, you get the gist of it. To assign something to a variable, we use the get sign. And as I did here, I have 4 examples here. And moving on, there are some minor details that you should be aware of when working with variables, which are variable names are case sensitive, meaning that capital X is different from a small x. If I have a new variable called capital X equals 7, then the value stored in X and capital X will be different. Also, variable names cannot start with numbers. They have to start with either a letter or an underscore. Also, a variable in Python does not have a fixed data type, meaning that you can assign a variable a string if you want, and then assign it to an int later on, and nothing would break, assuming that you did not use a string operation when it was an int, or the other way around. So now let's talk about some more interesting stuff with variables. So if I type out this equation, x equals x plus 1, which does not make any sense in a real world math, but it's valid in Python. And the reason it's valid in Python is due to the fact that when Python sees this, all it does is it evaluates whatever was to the right of it. So it evaluates x plus 1. So it evaluates x first, and then it gets 1 from this code right here, and it just adds 1 to it. So now the result is 2, and it just puts the value and whatever was to the left of it, which was x. So if I run this code and I ask the program what the value of x is, it's going to be 2. Because all I did is I took the value of x, added 1 to it, and then put it into the box named x back again. And fun fact, you could also do the same by using plus equals. As you can see, like, you just incremented the value by 1 again. And the reason why Python developers added this feature was because this assignment right here, this is probably one of the most popular ones in all codes. So shortening it would save a lot of cumulative time. And we would see the importance of this statement when we get to loops. But for now, this is about it. I will leave you to experiment on your own with variables and ask questions if you have any in the comment box below. And yeah, thanks for watching.